Last time on Shadow Piece. On the thriller bark they secured themselves the last road poneglyph and locked it in the Devil Fruit room. Now they are so much closer to the One Piece than any other pirate crew. As the time continued, the hunt for shadows did as well. Plus, Olympus' study of ancient language sped up rapidly. Meanwhile, on Pulchra Island, two sins encountered each other. Some people might even think that the Fleet of Death is planning to take over Red Hair Shank's territory. The Sin of Pride and the Sin of Greed have both been informed about the upcoming war against the Blackbeard Pirates. That only leaves 3 more sins, and Hyrodine is standing in front of one. Sin of Pride, Hyrodine, what brings you here to an island of beauty and fashion? Did you perhaps learn that your brutish ways are not elegant? Sparks are flying already. Hyrodine just glares down to his fellow Sin. I see you are making sure that your title is accurate with all these women surrounding you. Sin of Lust, Cavendish. The civilians are getting more and more nervous as the two high-ranking pirates exchange verbal blows. However, once Hyrodine said one thing, the situation escalated completely. I guess as only the 3rd most famous Sin, you need to spread your name by yourself. For Olympus and me, it just happens naturally, you know. His giant arms are raised up and he shrugs to further push the insignificance of Cavendish. In one movement, Cavendish pulls out the Rundle, his sword, out of its sheath and blackens it with armament haki. Meanwhile, in the same instant, Hyridine's fists turn black and he unleashes a wave of his Conqueror's haki, aimed only at the Sin of Lust. Obviously, the beautiful swordsman won't get knocked unconscious just with that, and his luscious blonde hair just waves from the generated wind. But still, this was the first time Cavendish saw the Sin of Pride use the color of the Supreme King. He gnaws his teeth, knowing very well that users of this haki type always get a lot of attention. How dare you take a step ahead of me? I am the Pirate Prince, the most beautiful pirate. Ally or not, take this! Beacon! Golden Slash! Even though his blade is covered in jet black haki, a sparkling golden slash gets unleashed. The ground below the attack gets split cleanly into 2, until it hits Hyrodine's fists. For the giant, it is a matter of pride to not dodge the attack, but accept it head on. For a few seconds, the beam of sword energy actually pushes the giant Sin backwards, breaking the ground underneath his feet, until he deflects the remaining energy to the side. For a strong fighter like them, this would be nothing, but even an immensely weakened technique from Cavendish is enough to destroy a pair of houses. Huh, a pitiful slash. With that you wouldn't even get past the first round of the Winter Solstice tournament. What do I care about some barbaric tradition? Just drop dead, you giant lump of meat. Attack after attack, punch after punch, the island of Pulchra is turning into a battlefield for the two sins of the Fleet of Death. Neither side so far has taken any significant damage, only the city has to suffer and a mass panic has already started. To outsiders, this is just a battle between two scary pirates. The citizens thought they were safe under the protection of Red Hair Shanks, but apparently there are still people out there who don't care about the Yonko's territory. Why did you come here anyway? Is it just to mock me? Beacon! Peacock! Gatling! Even while asking a question, the Sin of Lust continues his beautiful onslaught, performing countless piercing attacks and shooting sword beams at Hyrodine. The giant covers himself in haki and blocks most of the attacks, but some pierce through his tough skin, making him the first to bleed in this battle. Showing no signs of pain, the Sin of Pride dashes towards the Pirate Prince, using one of his tactics from the tournament to keep his opponent occupied, namely throwing rubble at high speed. Once he is close enough, he clenches his 2 hands together, before jumping into the air. As he pulls his arms behind his head, he screams at Cavendish, "Maria is alive, and she plans to destroy the Blackbeard Pirates to gain the title of Emperor. But first, take this, Mjolnir!" Just like his opponent, the Sin of Lust doesn't want to dodge, because that would mean he sees the giant as a threat, and that is unacceptable. A war, huh? The perfect plan to show the world more of my beauty. Beacon, rainbow twirl! Spinning around at a rapid rate, the blonde swordsman creates an upwards draft with slashes, decreasing Hyridine's speed and further damaging him. However, the legendary hammer still falls on him and the ground, breaking everything in the area. If this continued, the entire island would end up destroyed. So both Suleiman from Cavendish's side and the new giant warrior pirates want to stop their respective captains, but it's hard to get between them. They hate each other, but they also respect the strength of their opponent. Because of the Fleet of Death, a rivalry was born that would shake the world over and over again. With every clash, they exchanged more words. A simple conversation would have been too easy, and also out of character for both sides. So after losing to Kaido, Moria wants to try his hand at a presumably easier target. Do I understand that right? An understandable thought from Cavendish, but Hyrian shuts him down immediately. Moria won against Kaido. I've seen many strong warriors in my time, and yet Moria on Elbaf felt like a being on a completely different level. His power was a never-ending abyss. If you stared too deep into it, you could only find death. I doubt that. Their weapons collide again, sending sparks flying. Cavendish decided to follow Moria as he respected the Shadow Man, but Hyrian's description still felt over the top, almost like he was a cult member or something. But no matter if you are singing too much praise, if Moria is back, are you thinking the same thing I am? A clean punch sends the handsome man flying through tens of buildings. There is no question about it. When it comes to these things, we understand each other. Crashes into the roof of the central building of Pultra. Hyrian and the others sprint after him, scaring the civilians even more, even if unintentionally so. With the rondel in his hand, he doesn't hesitate. On top of the building, a flag is flying in the winds. But not just any flag. It is indeed the symbol of the red-haired pirates that is drawn onto it. Elegant and simple slices turn the pirate symbol into nothing but pieces of cloth. For the two sins, one thing was clear. If they are to follow a man, he should be afraid of nothing. A war against the Blackbeard pirates is already planned, but now these two high-ranking members of the Fleet of Death also declared war against another Yonko. Both of them are laughing, while their crew members do look a bit concerned. The newest member, Tyr, though, well, he just looks confused. Cavendish jumps down from the building and rejoins the other Fleet of Death members. Suleiman wants to reprimand his captain, but he can't even find the right words. Gerd just pulls Hyrian on his ears, making even the Sin of Pride think it might rip off. And here he just recovered his hearing after he lost it in the battle against Loki. Ever since the Fleet of Death was founded, the world didn't go a single day without hearing about at least one of the sins. The Marines and everybody else are also heavily investigating and theorizing about who the last two remaining sins are. Looking at all the other sins, the sin of sloth and the sin of gluttony most likely are just as dangerous. But the stories of the Fleet of Death are just beginning. They stand in a circle for a bit, talking about when to go to Hachinosu, to which the giants just answer they should go back to Elbaf instead, as it is connected with the thriller bark directly. The atmosphere is getting much more relaxed, and the civilians are coming back out of hiding again. Little do they know, this is just another calm before the storm. All Fleet of Death members twitch as they feel something approaching. Hyrian! Cavendish yells at his fellow Sin before getting cut off once again. I know! The captain of the new giant warrior pirates unleashes his conqueror's haki again, but in an incredibly light way. This alone is already enough to scare the civilians again, but his loud voice is the cherry on top. We are the Sin of Pride and the Sin of Lust. From this day on, this island belongs to the Thriller Bark Pirates. Leave this city now. You may only return once we are gone. His clear and threatening voice makes everybody run away. However, these people live on this island. Many were even born here, so they will actually return just like the menacing giant offered them to. For now, they can only hope that the new crew controlling them isn't going to be horrible, or the red-haired pirates will come to regain their territory. Here, you better be ready. This won't be comparable to Stainless. The newest member of the giant crew is always ready, and as the other pirates leave, only Cavendish, Hyrian, and Tia remain. Just come out, you can forget the idea of a surprise attack. Cavendish declares loudly to the area surrounding them. Only with their observation haki were they able to spot them. 3 fighters have surrounded them, and from their attitudes, it's easy to tell that they aren't here just to talk. This will be a completely serious battle. Who are the mysterious attackers our Fleet of Death members are about to take on, while Moria and the others just continue collecting shadows? In the new world, anything can happen, and you always need to be prepared to lose your life. This fight will be the perfect preparation for a war against Blackbeard. But for now, that's enough Shadow Piece. Wow, it's nice to be back to writing. This is actually the first episode written in 2024. I hope you enjoyed it and it wasn't a drop in quality or anything. What do you think? Who are the three people approaching our fighters? And more importantly, who are the Sin of Sloth and the Sin of Gluttony? But well, that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!